My name is Munyengango, 36 years of age, born and raised in Kigali, Rwanda, and I have a daughter, a 6-year-old, and what else? And I'm a personal trainer / fitness entrepreneur. If you ask the 16-year-old me, there's no way I would have known that I will end up on the gym floor as much as I've been. But my love for fitness developed over the years, mainly from the eager to be good in terms of physical fitness, so that I can be good in terms of other physical sports I was involved in. So I worked hard as an individual so that I can be fit for football, the sport I was very much dedicated to that time. And then as I hit, I think 18, it became a bit not interesting. I started playing less and less. My hopes for professional clubs were also becoming thin and thin. Injuries here and there, and then I switched completely to just love fitness in general, including things like weightlifting, performing all kinds of things, participating in long distance running. I fell in love with endurance sports, including cycling and running. Yeah, and then all that led, because the preparations to be good in any particular sports happens on the gym floor, it led me to where I am now. I've become a fitness trainer for over 12 years now. So I think it's in my 8th year that I became an owner of a facility that I was using at that time, Cali Fitness. And now we just added Waka on our portfolio, if I can say. So it's at that time, it's around 8 years ago that I became an investor into this industry. But for many years before then, I was on the floor as a personal trainer. Yeah. The industry shut down all over the world, not just in Rwanda, because of the pandemic. But in Rwanda in particular, we were not fast to adapt in terms of bringing innovative ways to cope with the situation, and as a consequence, we closed for a very long time. But and then as a consequence, we also lost other major players in the industry. So some gyms closed, they opened and met challenges that were so big to them, depending on how old they were or the size of the gym, to a point where they had to close as the only choice. But I guess there was also that element of luck that we're still here. We pushed, we closed, but we, depending on the size or depending on the community we have grown over the years, so we depend a lot on the people who trust us and who have trusted us with their lives. And so the time we opened, they rushed back to the gyms and they supported us back to our feet. I don't think people consider fitness as an activity for the wealthy the same way they used to consider it, let's say 10 to 15 years ago. So it used to be, you would only find a gym in hotels. And there was a reason for that. So the industry was so young, and the only people to invest in gyms were hotels. And they did not really invest in gyms because it was their main business. They sell bed and breakfast and food, but they felt like there is a need for people who, in-house guests, to exercise, and then the local clients could benefit from that as well. So it was that culture, because hotel in its nature kind of pushes people away. So if you're not sleeping there, you don't feel like you're welcome to go there to have a drink or to have a meal. So just that, it shaped the image that we and the perception we have of gyms at that time, which is that those who go to hotels, those who can afford to hang around hotels, are the ones that go to the gym, and therefore the gym is for the wealthy. But now over these 10 to 15 past years, there are so many independent gyms. They don't even rely on hotels anymore. That every Rwandan, the industry is becoming a bit more inclusive than it was before. So everyone has a gym they can go to. So obviously the effort comes from that organic transfer of also the economy. The Rwandan economy grew significantly to now have a bigger middle class that can afford to have like a disposable income. We are no longer a bigger part of Rwandans, especially the ones in bigger cities, can have a little bit of a disposable income on the top of their everyday needs. They can afford to take care of their lives by going to the gym. But then also there has been a lot of behavior change campaign on the government side, but also in the private sector to get people to exercise. So it's no longer now that you feel like you are, let's say, overweight and you want to go lose weight, or it's no longer about all those cosmetic reasons. People want to go to the gym just so that they can feel good. They can probably ultimately look good also, but it's about the overall health now. We are big contributors on different public health initiatives. So especially on the preventive side, because there are hospitals, there are, you know, this curve of sickness, wellness, fitness continuum. We are the other end of the spectrum. But people who open clinics, they are in the sickness business, if I can call it that way. And then there's a whole range of wellness activities, and then there is fitness. So people, depending on which metric you use, fall on this curve, and they want always to move towards the healthy side. So the government does its job, and by opening hospitals, by making sure we have enough personnel like doctors and nurses and equipment and facilities. And then ours, we make sure that the Rwandans never need that, so they can live a day-to-day life that is healthy and overall balanced, to a point where they're not sick to need to go to the hospital. So we work hand in hand, and it's shown by a community that we've built over the years of Rwandans who have decided to really live the best lives by engaging fitness on a day-to-day basis, so that they never need the hospital. But yes, we also work with the government in terms of policy change, in terms of industry regulation, so we can improve the conditions in which Rwandans exercise, or reducing harm that also exists on the gym floor. So we work with the government a lot to drive the country into a healthy future. The thing with people, they always know what needs to be done. They know that it's not from me that they will hear for the first time about exercise being good for their well-being. They have heard it from doctors, they've heard it from other fitness professionals before. They follow the right influencers that talk about it on a daily basis. But the difference is in whether they actually understand the need to change, or if they feel that they can, that the message is actually theirs. So some people will always, beside the realities, the facts in each person's life, such as a mother with, like, let's say 2 kids that they need to take care of, whether they have help or not, or a very busy professional person, or a very busy professional mother who is like a CEO, an executive of an organization. Everyone, if they understood that it is their life, it is their body that allows them to do what they do, they would really stand up and seek for help, and then they come to the gym. And this notion of being busy, sometimes it bugs me, because I don't understand, because you do everything you do because you are there. Yeah. So I don't remember which philosopher that came up with a saying that says existence precedes essence. So it's basically we need to be in order to do. whatever we do, we need to exist. And the quality of our health matters a lot. We can't just there. There's another person who says that very few people, we all live, we all exist, but very few people live. So I think it's time we put in check, we assess the quality of our life so that we can improve it and leave aside that excuse of being busy, because everybody can be busy. If heads of states can exercise, these are the busiest people with their schedules, with traveling, with everything they do. And big CEOs, if they can find time to exercise, you, the banker who works a 9 to 5, you, the lawyer who has a window in which you know that I'm working here and I'm not working in these hours, you, the carpenter, you, the other jobs, the other professions. What is the excuse? I think it's a matter of understanding the urgency here, and also bring it down to individual goals. Try to set up something for yourself and build a community around you so that there is that social and accountability around you. Because if you are on your own, sometimes it's tough, because fitness requires a lot of discipline and very little motivation. People will be like, I'm not motivated, I'm not. For us, we believe that you don't actually need motivation. You just have to do what needs to be done, and that's on the discipline side. I have questioned a lot what I do and whether it's what I want to be doing for the rest of my life. I've had that moment, and some micro residues of that questioning may also pop up in my head every once in a while, especially when I'm in front of a bigger challenge. But without a doubt, I know I am where I'm supposed to be, and we've managed to go over all kinds of challenges that have occurred in the industry, COVID being the biggest. I don't think the stigma around fitness professionals is still as big. I think as a 17-year-old, as an 18-year-old, you can face your parents and then tell them that you want to be a personal trainer. They have seen personal trainers succeed in life. They have seen people grow to be from fitness to opening businesses, to venture into entrepreneurship in the industry. So there are models that people now see, and people kind of understand what we do now as opposed to before. So the challenges personally were around that, acceptance, societal validation, but not anymore. So I think it comes with consistency, with age, with also a few achievements here and there that would make people believe that, okay, that is a serious job, and therefore you should never underestimate people who do it. And but there have been other challenges, yeah, that make me question what I do. So I'm pivoting more from the private sector into contributing more on the government side, in driving policy, in contributing in reforms, in behavior change campaigns, in collaborating with the government more. So we're looking for, yesterday, we were talking with my team when we were talking about the vision and what it is that we want Waka and FitPipo, the group, to be. And then they were pressing with these questions that made me really think. I feel like we want to contribute. You see how there are people busy making Rwandans secure. There are people busy making deals here and there for Rwandans' economy. There are people busy making sure we have hospitals that are functioning, so that Rwandans can be cured if there are any illnesses. Yeah, so we want to establish ourselves as the solutions in terms of preventive healthcare that Rwanda has. So we want to drive Rwandans into a very healthy future. Why not Kigali being labeled the healthiest city in Rwanda, in the world? We are known for green city, we're known for security, we could also be known for fitness. So that is one of my biggest visions. For the company, the mission is to stay alive and to try and scale. For the community, we want to create a healthy Rwanda. We want to onboard as many people as possible, and we want to be as inclusive as we can possibly be. By inclusivity, I mean affordable, and most importantly, considering all kinds of people. So I wish we could have a car-free day for handicapped people with tools and knowledge to help them with all kinds of situations, considering each case. And we have an initiative, a non-profit called Rwanda Fitness Culture. We're trying to get, one of the challenges we face now in the one-on-one training is that Rwandans start training late. You see 40-year-old, 50-year-olds coming to the gym and you ask them, have you played a sport? No. Have you run before? No. Have you done? And yet they want to take on the biggest challenge of their lives, which is changing their health through fitness. And that also kind of puzzles me a bit, because I see how if they had done something before, it could have helped them. So my goal with the non-profit is to take fitness into schools, so that at least by the time kids are no longer studying and sleeping, and so that by the time they join the workforce, they come into this busy life, they already have that seed planted in their heads that the solution is in fitness, not medication, not poor eating habits, but they can actually come to the gym and they already find their space. So it's happening. It's happening. We've launched. Yes, we are now looking for fitness ambassadors in throughout the whole country in schools, and these people will be trained to train other students, and within the schools. And the program is there not to eliminate the physical education programs that already exist, but to assist them, so that every day there is something a student has done.
So when was this launching?
We are launching it officially. Like right now, we are still in different phases of onboarding schools and trying to get paperwork. But we are launching the program. We are lucky to also have Harvard Business School students who are here for their international exchange programs, helping us design the program really. And as soon as they are done, which is by the month of May, we are starting the training of fitness ambassadors. When you come to the floor, when you come to the gym as a client looking for a trainer, one of the things that you're going to talk in the first consultation meeting with the trainer are, the trainer is going to try and understand your medical background, your history. Are you actually validated and cleared by a doctor to come and undergo a series of fitness programs? And if they find that you are not cleared to do standard movements, then we talk about two things, scaling and adapting. So scaling is when you take a standard program and make it to the level of fitness of the individual so that they can be able to do it. So I'll probably take the known push-up as it is, and I will ask you to do it with your knees on the ground so you can be able to do. That is scaling. And then adapting, it is actually taking individual differences and create something that does not exist before so that you can be able to do it. So for example, you come in a wheelchair and you want to do, you want to train your back, for example. I might put you facing a wall, and then I attach an elastic band to the wall, and then I ask you to pull it. That is something specific to your condition. And the same goes to all kinds of movement. We have movement patterns that we deal with. So a human should be able to push, to pull, to hip hinge, so using the movement patterns, we change them into everyone's, to adapt everyone's condition. So yes, once we take even that, because we do it in the gym, we want to take it into schools as well, so that students can learn how to train themselves the perfect way, regardless of their conditions. If you look from the outside, we are just a gym. But the Waka tagline, I fell in love with it way before I even joined the Waka team. It says, more than just a gym. So we are more than just a gym because of how we approach the situation, individual cases and because of how we think about moving the community. So when you come to the gym, like people who, I'll speak about Cali, let's say. You come to Cali, I don't think we have a system that is so robotized that makes people pay on time. If you didn't miss the payment, you don't come. It's a very big community that has this sense of belonging that is so strong, and our relationship with them is not money, definitely not. So because what we do is that we try to accommodate everybody and their finances taken care of in terms of understanding when you can't pay, but of course we discuss, we are very flexible in terms of how to pay. But also we are the only gym, for example, that has a package for men and women in uniform. I've never heard any other gym have such thing. So you come to Cali, you come to Waka, you pay 50% if you are in the military, and that is big. So that it makes us very different as well. So it's initiatives like that that make us different. So at Waka, I had forgotten to mention this, but one of the things that make us unique is that we are the only fitness organization that has more than we have the gyms, we have community fitness initiatives, we have the non-profit, the Rwanda Fitness Culture. We're trying to do a lot, and if you don't find yourself in one, you'll find yourself working with us in the other. And then secondly, we have as many classes as you can think of. We have all the way to, I think, 15 different classes at Waka. So you can do Zumba, do strength training, circuit training, functional training. We have boot camps. We have traditional dance, Kinyarwanda. We have a lot. So there is always something to do for people who are not into fitness enough to know how to train themselves. So our membership is I think pretty affordable because it's within it's in line with the industry benchmark. We have 550,000 a year membership. At Cali it's 450,000, and that makes it affordable for many Rwandans to pay. And of course, we have corporate arrangements that make it even reduced because they come in many people, with many people. If you go to the gym, I mean, I believe food is fuel for action. If you feel like you've worked hard enough to afford X amount of food, then go on. But the problem we have is that people have never changed in terms of how they perceive nutrition versus, they have never changed and viewed and revised and reviewed and reassessed their metabolic outputs in terms of like the needs of a body versus how they eat. So they find themselves eating way more than what they actually need. So, and then what that creates is storage, is excess. So if I had something where I'm pouring water in, and then if it has 20 liters, if I'm not in time to close the tap, there's going to be a spillover. But with the human body, it's not like that. The human body is going to adapt and stretch so it can accommodate that excess food you are putting, excess energy you are putting into it. So it's practically impossible to address the fitness issue without talking about nutrition. In fact, that is the big part, because how you look is almost 90-something% on what you feed yourself, and other environmental and genetic, and but a bigger part is the energy in that makes you look the way you look. Like I said before, one of our mission is to, we are on the fitness train is a fast-moving train, and we're heading towards a healthy Rwanda. And we want as many people on board as possible. And if you are like dwelling to like join today or later, or not only you are missing on the journey and also the community that's already formed, but you're exposing yourself on the diseases that are out there, or other kinds of issues related to inactivity. So what I can tell Rwandans is that the time is now. We have enough data, way more than enough data, to explain the dangers of inactivity. If you don't move, if you wake up and go to work and live just like that for 1 year, 2 years, eventually that body is going to give up. So our biology will deceive us eventually if we don't maintain that machine. So that's why it's important to always, it doesn't matter the age or the size. People think those who go to the gym, they want to lose weight, or then therefore if I'm skinny, there's no need to go to the gym. I'm fit. No, if you're skinny, you're not fit. We talk about you could be exposed to illnesses and to excess of other, like a high cholesterol without being fat. You could have high visceral fat without being fat. I've heard people call it skinny fat. It's the inner organ fat. So there is the subcutaneous fat, the one you can see, okay, that person is round. That is the fat you can actually pinch with a caliper and measure. But there is also the inner organ fat. And you can get sick before it's visibly making you fat. So the dangers are real. And when you see the country putting initiatives such as the Car-Free Day and talking about Less, it's because we understand now we have enough data to support that fight, to know that it's actually this is the time. Way more Rwandans are dying because of lifestyle diseases that would have been preventable if it was like, if it was about individual will and not most what we do as a group. Because I realize that many people make social mistakes that then will go on to affect individual lives, and yet we collectively, we help each other be unhealthy, but the change is always affects the individual. Yeah, so it's time for people to assess their groups, their social groups. Yes, who do you hang out with? Who do you eat lunch with? Who are you married to? How are they contributing to make you unhealthy? And then, if possible, make changes. It will probably draw you far from those people, but if they love you enough, they will let you be healthy than